How's it going, YouTube? Happy 5th of July. Hope everyone had a great 4th. You avoided all the anti-American sentiment that seemed to be flying around lately from folks who just don't know how to have a good time and apparently only find enjoyment in being the fun police as opposed to just unwinding for 24 hours to celebrate the fact that the nation they're so busily protesting is the nation that actually allows them and enables them to have the rights and positions they currently see fit to espouse, believe in, and trumpet all around, especially on Twitter. I mean, even if I had some serious problems with this country, and in some respects I do have serious problems with it, I still celebrate the fact that there is no other nation like it on earth. And if not for this nation, the rights and privileges that in many respects I take for granted, I would not even have in the first place. And we have a lot of people to thank for that. Of course, we have Memorial Day for those who put on this nation's uniform and went off to serve and did not come home. We have Veterans Day to celebrate those who put on the uniform, served and did come home. We have Independence Day to celebrate when we decided to become a nation. And we have various other holidays and remembrance days to commemorate other events that have marked this nation, whether they be political events such as particular presidents or events such as June 6th, which of course we honor and remember for the D-Day invasion that literally began the end of Nazi Germany. So a lot to be thankful for, a lot to celebrate, and unfortunately for me, I am celebrating with a lot of sweat. Because it is hot H-O-T in Chicagoland. I mean, it's cloudy right now, but the temperature is somewhere around 1,000. It feels like the humidity is somewhere around 1,000,000. It really isn't that bad. It shouldn't feel that bad, but it feels awful. It also illustrates that I am actually quite badly out of shape and I need to actually start working to get back into shape. I made it a point to bring my kettlebell, my little adjustable weight kettlebell that I got several years ago, back out to the truck and put it in my equipment stash. I've got it right down below me, so I can actually start attempting to be disciplined enough to work out. When the sound of the air horn is made, you respond accordingly. But yeah, anyway, as I was trying to say, a lot to celebrate, a lot to be thankful for, but it's hot. And for everyone thinking, oh, it's climate change, this is that, it's like, yeah, I'm having a hard time putting all my money on that, because as far as I'm concerned, climate science is incomplete. We do not have all the answers. And every doomsday prediction that has been made so far in regards to climate catastrophe has not yet come to fruition. At some point, someone might actually end up being correct, but that day is not today. So it is what it is. But these summers, this kind of weather reminds me of what summer used to be like, where it was very hot, very humid, and you walked outside and you drank the air, but you went outside to play because there was nothing else to do when you were a kid. That's just the way it was. The good old days, as one might say. But, you know, before I get too much into a rambling mindset here, you know, despite the fact that it's hot, despite the fact that I'm sweating more than I feel I should be, even though my truck's AC is running and I'm still not cooled down enough to the point where I can actually start to dry out, which is unfortunate because I've already showered today, so I'm going to be going to bed tonight, shall we say, a bit sticky, which is super not fun. You know, the freight market seems to be okay. I mean, yeah, I'm still a new carrier. Yeah, I'm still fighting for scraps in a lot of respects, especially with brokers like C.H. Robinson and Coyote. I get the leftovers because I'm new. I'm a low man on the totem pole. It is what it is. I've still got a lot of brokers I'm trying to like RXO, Warner Bridge, Molo, they all require a lot more time of active authority than I currently have. I mean, I'm a little over 30 days in. I think I'm approaching 40 days. No, I'm over 40 days right now, actually. So my authority is just over 40 days old. It turned 40 days old, I think, 2 days ago, which is nice. But still, it's one of those things where the good times don't really kick off until I've got a lot more time in the system and I have a reputation behind me for delivering on time, performing to meet the requirements of the different brokers. And that's just the way it's going to be. It's going to be an uphill battle that will require me to just put my nose to the grindstone and, you know, execute. And for anyone looking to become an owner-operator at this point because you're tired of being a lease agreement operator, or you want to get out of your lease agreement, your lease purchase agreement, and get into your own truck, or your lease agreement is up and you can get into your own authority because now you own the truck, you know, there's still opportunities. I mean, you gotta have to work for them, but they're still out there. And yeah, people still dog TQL for being awful. And I've been lowballed on a few loads, and I politely declined them. You know, I've had a lot of calls from saying, hey, do you have a trailer that can pick up here and deliver here? And I have to say usually, no, I don't, either because they were trying to get me to take a load, let me rephrase that. They called me to offer me a load that was going to go to Brooklyn to New York. And while I have my New York HUD sticker on the front of my truck, I've been to Brooklyn. It was not fun. I do not care to repeat that experience. So I politely declined the offer and said, well, I don't think that's going to work out for me this time around, but I thank you for the call, and left it at that. And it was a very polite exchange, and the broker probably went on to call someone else on their list. No problem at all. Other times I get called and it's like, yeah, I'm actually already on a load with TQL, but I'm here and I won't be there until after this window is closed. So it's just, you know, timing's not there. The unfortunate downside also is that whenever TQL does call me, I have to assume that the load is that they're just desperate to get it booked, and they're not putting a lot of money into it, so they're not willing to really pay extra in order to incentivize me to accept a potentially snake-bitten load where I might have to, you know, deliver it like 3 in the morning or pick up at, you know, 1 in the morning or something arcane, and then, you know, drive helter-skelter in order to get to the delivery location on time. So, you know, there's that. And then with C.H. Robinson, now I don't have any problem again with C.H. Robinson or TQL, either one of them. All of my loads so far, except for 1 or 2, have been with either TQL or C.H. Robinson. I don't have anything against either company and how they do business. It's just that every now and again you gotta jump through some hoops to try to get a load booked. Like I was trying to get a load with C.H. Robinson earlier this afternoon, and so I called in on it because I put in an offer through their Navisphere carrier app, and I said, okay, this is the offer I'm going to put in here. This is the number value. It was a little bit over what they were offering for the Book It Now value. They accepted it. I went to go through the process of booking, and there was an issue. I thought the app had glitched, so I was like, all right, let's get this. Let's call them in and let's see what's happening here. Try to book this the old-fashioned way. The agent I spoke with said, yeah, the reason the booking didn't go through is because you don't meet the requirements for the customer. Like there's some volume requirements. You know, you're still a pretty new carrier with us. You don't have a lot of history with us. You know, it's just one of those, like, yeah, I understand that. The guy said, you know what, I'll see what I can do, because sometimes some of these situations, you know, if we talk to the carrier and then talk to the customer, sometimes the customer will allow us to book a newer carrier. Doesn't always work, but sometimes it works out. It did not work out, unfortunately. You know, it is what it is. I ended up finally getting a decent load. It's actually a pretty sweet load, to be honest with you. It's literally just 500 pounds. I think it's the lightest load I've ever taken or accepted to this point in my career. My next one, I had 3,000 pounds. I think it was 2 skids, and they were water filtration something, and it was for a nuclear power plant in New York State. And that was a really fun load, because I had no idea that this particular company in my region, Northern Illinois, made equipment or made material that would end up being utilized in nuclear power plants. So I didn't get to go to the containment buildings or didn't get to go deep into the site when I delivered, but still I got to go to a nuclear power plant even though I was on the outskirts of the whole facility. It was still a lot of fun to do that load. Plus it was super light, and I was going through Pennsylvania and Western New York, and I was just flying up and down those hills because I only weighed 3,000 pounds in the box, so I had no problem up and down the mountains. It was fun. This load, it's literally, if I understand the load correctly, what I'm doing is I'm taking a pair of bathroom or restroom vanities to what I believe is a construction site for a fast food restaurant, and I believe I'm just getting 2 of them, and I'm taking them to a place in Ohio where I'll deliver them tomorrow. Probably, if I do it right, I'll do it in the morning, and then I'll be able to get my next load booked up real quick and then get back to business as it were. But still, this is one of those loads that honestly I'm looking forward to because it's a unique load and it's going to be a lot of fun. Because I had a similar load, one of my last loads for GP Transco in 2022, a little over a year ago now. It was 4,000 pounds total weight, but it was a lot of modules, long equipment modules, and it ended up, I delivered to them the guts of an automatic car wash to a car dealership that was expanding their facility, and they were building a brand new car wash in order to automate their processing of new, used, and customer vehicles. So I brought them their automatic car wash components from a manufacturer in Wisconsin, and then hauled that all the way over to Lewiston, Idaho. And that was a fun load because, again, I was only 4,000 pounds in the box, so I was just flying up and down all the mountains through Wyoming and Montana. So that load was a ton of fun, and then I was heavy coming out of Idaho, but still I enjoyed the process of getting to and getting out of Idaho on that load, because sometimes these fun loads can create opportunities where stuff can happen in a way where it's a new experience. It's something that I haven't done in a while or ever, because I have delivered to a facility under construction before, because when I was with Werner, I was on their Dollar Tree account out of Joliet, out of their Joliet distribution center, which is still there, and I believe Werner still has a presence at that facility as well. But it was a 2-stop load, and the first part of it, I had to go to Southern Illinois to a town called Herrin, where they were building a brand new standalone Dollar Tree store. And I was delivering to them skids of shelving material, some store accoutrement or accoutrements, I want to pronounce it, whether you want to do it the French way or the English way. Just a wide variety of stuff. And I had to deliver it to the crew that was actually engaged in the process of building the store, because the structure was up, the building was enclosed, but I was just bringing them the material where they could, the store staff could begin to set up the store to begin to receive goods. So I brought them a lot of the shelving material in individual broken down aspects, and I forget a bunch of stuff. I brought them a lot of stuff. It ended up being, it was a light load. I got total weight somewhere around like 25,000 pounds, and normally when I was doing Dollar Tree, I scaled out over 40,000 pounds almost every time, because I would have multiple stores on the trailer. Usually I averaged 3 stops per trailer. Sometimes there's only 2. Rarely it was just 1, but typically it was 3. Every now and again it was 4. I think once or twice I had 5, because they were just a couple of really quick drops with light offload. But anyway, so I've delivered to a construction facility before, and occasionally those can be interesting because you get to negotiate and navigate around different pieces of equipment. You got to make sure you don't hit potholes or unfinished portions of the parking lot, and blow up a tire or get stuck or something. But that load was fun because I had an opportunity the night before to go and visit my grandparents, and unfortunately my grandfather passed away this past winter. But this load was long enough ago that I got, when I visited them, he was still with us, and actually the last time I saw him alive, I was passing through the region where they live on a delivery. I think I was going either into Kentucky on my delivery, or I was heading, maybe it was Tennessee. I really do forget. But I had some flexibility. They were literally on the way. So I just pulled through where they live, because it was just a little ways off the interstate, and took a 2-hour break and just stopped and visited with them for a little while, and then got back on the road and went on to my my next stop. So all this rambling to say that, you know, some of these weird loads end up being a lot more fun than they otherwise would seem to be. So it creates a break in the monotony, and to be quite honest, I'm really glad that it's only a 500-pound total load. At least that's what the estimated weight is, 500 pounds total. Because I'm just going to sip diesel all the way down there, which is great. Because, I mean, no one has any real idea what diesel's going to be doing in the next couple of months. The U.S. Navy announced this morning or late last night that they prevented Iran from seizing 2 oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, which is good news. So that should at least help to keep oil prices in the near term somewhat stable. But at the same time, there's no predicting what's going to happen with different, you know, Saudi politics, different OPEC politics, the situation with Russia and Ukraine, American production. You know, because refineries, they do have to shut down periodically for huge maintenance, and I think a couple of the Gulf Shore, the major U.S. refineries on the Gulf Coast, I think they're due for their yearly shutdown coming up here in the next, I think in October or September timeframe, if I remember correctly. But it's every year they got to shut down for like at least a week or two in order to go through maintenance and make sure that all their high wear items and whatever they have to service is up to snuff, so they can go through the winter production season without having problems. So we got that coming up. That'll cause issues with pricing, of course. And then, you know, when it comes to freight rates, I mean, yeah, coming out of Chicago, I'm finding decent rates. I mean, a lot of the loads I was looking at were offering well over $2 a mile, which is good. The downside is most of these loads were short. I mean, this load is paying me well over $2 a mile, which I'm very grateful for. Actually, I'm almost flirting with $3 a mile, which is really nice. But it's a short load, but it's overnight essentially. I'll be delivering again fairly early tomorrow, which is good. So I can get that load factored out and then get my next load booked, and then get that hopefully delivered on Friday morning and get that load factored out for same day payout. And then I'll be ready to plan out the weekend, either where I want to get a short hop and just, you know, come home, do a reset, then really hit it hard next week, or try to get a long haul that delivers Monday or something. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out when we get to that point. But suffice it to say, where I'm at right now, where I think things are going, the Midwest appears to be maintaining a general consistency out of Chicago. But then again, Chicago's a major freight hub. Like I've said in different videos, like if you've been following my content for a while, I've said before that Chicago, because we've got all the major railroads come to Chicago, the 4 major class 1s that rule the east-west routes of the U.S. With, you know, we've got Norfolk Southern and CSX in the eastern half of the nation, pardon me, or east of the Mississippi, and then you've got Union Pacific and BNSF. They literally own the western United States, west of the Mississippi, and then Canadian National, Canadian Pacific, Kansas City Southern, which is now owned by Canadian Pacific, I think, or Canadian National. One of the Canadian railroads bought them up, which is extremely unfortunate, because now they basically own all the trackage from Canada to Mexico, and that's super not fun, at least on the north-south runs, but, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, so freight out of Chicago is good. However, freight around Chicago, meaning, you know, passing through or trying to get back to Chicago, that's where things get a little bit dicey. That's where I've had real trouble finding better freight rates, because coming back to a major freight hub occasionally is far more difficult than getting out of it, at least in my limited experience. But as I get more brokers on my Rolodex, and as I get access to more load boards, hopefully I'll have a better menu to choose from. But even so, TQL and C.H. Robinson have offered me some pretty good loads. I've been doing okay with them. I've got Coyote ready to rock and roll. I just haven't had a chance to book a load with them yet because the load just hasn't fallen the way that I would hope it would have fallen in order to meet up with where I would want to operate, go to and then try to get out of, as it were. And I still haven't gotten myself a DAT board subscription. I'll need to at some point, but I'm probably going to hold off on that until I've got 90 days of active authority, because once I clear that 90-day hurdle, a lot of brokers that may not do their own private load boards will be on DAT board, and I will need to be on DAT in order to see some of these brokers posting loads. Like, I think Surge Transportation, they're a good broker. I don't think they have their own load board. I know Redwood Logistics, they do an email list, but they also post their loads on the DAT board as well. There's a bunch of other really good brokers that I've worked with over the last year. Oh, Axel Logistics, they post on the DAT board. I don't think they have their own load board. They might, I don't know, but I just know I think I need 6 months of active authority to haul with them. I know RXO has their own load board, and they also post their freight on the DAT board as well. So, but you need 90 days of active authority to get on with RXO, I believe. So, in a lot of ways, until you have at least 90 days of active authority, there's really not a whole lot of value in getting a DAT board subscription and paying the $125 a month for the Carrier's Edge package, because most of those brokers will not work with you, and a lot of those brokers, they may not have the credit rating that your factoring company will accept. Like Triumph, who I factor with, they have pretty strict tolerances for who they will and will not offer credit to, and that's why I'm putting all of my eggs right now into the basket of TQL, C.H. Robinson, Coyote, Allen Lund, and Redwood. I'm already on with them, and then soon it'll be Werner Bridge and RXO, because all of these entities are very high value entities. They have good credit, and Triumph will have no problem factoring those invoices, because the credit for those entities is solvent. Now, you get some broker entity with an MC of 1,300,000 plus. There's no guarantee that the MC number will pass Triumph's credit check scrutiny, and they're pretty strict, which is good, because that means if you're not seeing an approved for X amount of credit with Triumph, you don't want to book that load, because you're going to have to negotiate with that carrier, with that broker, an alternative means of payout, and there's going to be a risk that they may not pay out, because again, they're going to be a young broker trying to get themselves established, and they may not have all their processes figured out. And if you're a new carrier trying to get things going and not have any problems, you're going to want to be working with brokers that are guaranteed to be solvent. And unfortunately, depending on your view on it, that's going to mean TQL, C.H. Robinson, and a handful of others that will work with brand new carriers. But if you're willing to be patient and deal with that, you will make money. I mean, I don't know how much money, but you will at the very least be able to meet your weekly and monthly obligations, as long as you just get out there and do the work. And speaking of getting out there and doing the work, we got some rain coming on here, so I'm going to shut this video down and keep my eyes on the road here, because I'm coming into the evening rush of Chicagoland, and I'm sure we got some idiots I'll be encountering before too long. So anyway, YouTube, thank you so much for watching, and I will see